Are you ready for the Unit 5 test? You will not get to use a calculator for the vast majority of problems. In fact, I'm going to have you start taking the exam and finishing first the calculator-related problems before you turn your calculator in and then continue on with the test. This is not a calculator-related problem. So how do I go about solving this? Well, first let's list all the factors of 36. 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, and then 6 times 6. We can write 6 ones. The great thing is the leading coefficient is 1. And so when I write down the possibilities, I'll test 1 and -1, 2 and -2, 3 and -3, and so on. So I'm going to test 1 and -1, 2 and -2. Let me write these. All right, so remember, when I solve and I get an answer, it must be included in this list because this is the list of possible roots. Also, remember that we can have duplicates, so we may have one of these answers listed more than one time. Let's start by testing 1. So 1x to the 4th, 8x to the 3rd, 7x squared, -36x, and -36. I'm looking for a remainder of 0. And I should have put this in pencil. Let's try 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So I drop down and then it's multiply and add, multiply and add, multiply and add, multiply. That's not giving me 0. I know 1 will never be a solution. Next, I'm going to try -1. Drop down, multiply and add, multiply and add, multiply and add, multiply, and it works. Okay, so -1 is one of the 4 solutions. When it says solve, we are locating the solutions. Now, here's the tough part. I have 4 remaining numbers, so 1, 7, 0, and -36. And now, what do I use to test those? I'm going to have to use these exact same values, but I know if 1 didn't work the first time, +1, it's not going to work on this one. So I'm going to try -1 and then 2, and -2 and 3, and so on. Okay, again, so I'm not testing 1. Let's try -1 because it could be a duplicate answer. So I drop down. I am multiplying to get -1, adding down to get 6. Multiplying -6, adding down -6. Multiplying 6, that doesn't equal 0. Okay, so I know that I know that -1 is not a duplicate answer. Let's try 2. Dropping down. Okay, multiply, add down, multiply, add down, multiply. It works. Okay, sorry, it works. So 2 is one of the other answers, solutions, roots, zeros. Now the great thing is once I only have 3 remaining terms, I have a choice about how I want to go about solving the others. So no x's, 1x, and 2x. I can always use the quadratic formula, that will be on the board, or sometimes we can factor. Now I like to see, is it possible to factor? What multiplies to give you 18 and combines to give you 9? 3 and 6, so x plus 3 and x plus 6. Now we're asked to solve. The leading coefficient is 1, so putting a 1 doesn't change anything. Another answer is -3 and -6. 4 solutions. Here they are, and look at, they're all listed here. You do want to go back and make sure that you have not identified a solution or root, an x-intercept that's not on this list of possible roots.